Morning, morning, Patriots. It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. Just wanted to bring y'all some news coming off the Gateway Pundit this morning. We got lots of good news. We got some more breaking information and a little bit of exposure. Now, let me go ahead and get into this for you folks. But before I do, before I forget, I've been watching a lot of movies on Fire Stick here lately at the house here. And I've been red pilling my wife a little bit with a lot of the Dinesh D'Souza movies. You know, the one about the donkeys. We seen that, and then we seen Trump Card. And last night I got her to watch Hillary's America, which is another Dinesh D'Souza movie. Excellent movie. I'm actually going to make a video about some of the clips in the movie, which is pretty much almost like set up like a documentary. I didn't realize how much the left are crazy, and they've been crazy for a long time. They've been pushing their Obama agenda for forever and a day, and just watching these movies with my wife is actually a process of me trying to red pill her, and I think I'm going to get her registered to vote before long. My plan is to get my wife and my kids to vote in November. I know it's a big task, but I think everybody up to ought to be up to the task of trying to get somebody around you that doesn't vote, doesn't care, doesn't seem to think that their voice matters. Go get them to vote. That's what you can do for your country right now. It's what you can do to help save America. Small step we can all do. Convince somebody their vote matters. I believe that wholeheartedly. That is one of the things about this channel that I wanted to do from right from the start was convince people that vetting your politicians, paying attention to what's going on in the news that benefits you and doesn't benefit you, to figure out who you need to push out of office when it's actually your time to vote. These are the things that I really wanted to do when I started these channels was to basically not just get out the vote, but get out the word and the message that everybody needs to vote if you care about your country. And let me go ahead and get into this video. Every time I think about that, I think I'm trying to red pill everybody I can with this channel. And now I'm trying to red pill my wife with, I've got her on Newsmax now versus GMA in the mornings. That's a winner. And now I'm in process of getting her to watch all these political movies with me, just to give her an idea. Actually, we watched another movie about Benghazi the other day. I think it was called 13 Hours, about the soldiers that died over there, the 4 soldiers and the ambassador. And I explained to my wife a little bit about how Hillary Clinton had a lot to do with that, with the Benghazi and the emails. And so we watched the Dinesh D'Souza Hillary's America, explained a lot more about it. Now my wife knows, just like the rest of the Democrats, Hillary is not just a tyrant, but she is a really sick and twisted human being when she laughs about people dying. And just that alone, my old lady was just, wow. That's what you got to do, folks. You got to put this stuff in people's faces, let them know what's really going on, expose these lying lefties, call them out every chance you get, and try to get somebody in your neighborhood, somebody you don't know, maybe somebody in your family, maybe even your kids that are old enough to vote now. Whatever you got to do to get out the vote, that's what we got to do, folks. From this point forward, I wholeheartedly encourage voting to everyone. Now, let me go ahead and get into this. I didn't mean to ramble on so long, but it is so important that you red pill somebody for this election. If you can do anything to help your country civically, like doing polling, being a poll watcher, things like that, that's awesome. But if you don't have the time or the way to do it, at least do your part and make sure you vote and you do your part to try to convince other people why they should vote and vote for Republicans, not rhinos and not Democrats at this point. All right, now let's get into the just other news for you. Sorry to ramble on so long. So important to me. Okay, it says breaking. Dr. Fauci announces his resignation and will step down in December. And I love it. I love it. That's a good one. That man has needed to resign for a long time. He knows the book is going to get thrown at him at one point. He does not want to get up in front of judicial hearings anymore with Rand Paul and Jim Jordan, because they have scorched his ass so many times, caught him in so many misinformations that he's going to have to run and hide. But I don't think it's going to work. I think he's still going to be held accountable someday for some of the things that we've proven. Like he's lied to Congress, lied to the FBI. He's actually lied, done a lot of lying. But I won't get into that too much. But I'm glad to see he's stepping down. That's a wonderful thing. Now, just in, the judge formally rejected Department of Justice argument to keep Trump raid affidavit sealed, meaning the judge did not side with the FBI. They're not going to get to play these secretive games and pretend like they don't have to disclose the information. They messed up, and they know it, and the judge is calling them out on it. That's good news as well, folks. Now, there's a video over here on the Gateway Pundit as well. Trump spokesman Liz Harrington, she said, "We're going on the offensive. It's obvious that Trump is he's not just pissed off, but he's activated and motivated to take this all the way to the highest court in the land if need be, because this is a great Fourth Amendment case." And Liz Harrington said so, and she's not the only one. Dershowitz said it as well, and he's not a Trump fan. They're saying that Trump has got a great Fourth Amendment case against the FBI for the way they carried out the raid, the process that wasn't absolutely necessary. So that's actually good news for Trump. Trump's going to take this all the way to the hills. I think we're going to have this drawn out for a while, but hopefully we'll get some great results in the end. Let me scroll down here to a few things I can talk about. Okay, Steve Bannon endorses Marjorie Taylor Greene for Speaker of the House at Mike Lindell's symposium thing he had the other day. It was called Moment of Truth Summit, and that's a great idea. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene or Jim Jordan would be great speakers of the House. I think Jim Jordan will be Judiciary Committee lead chair, and I think they're going to leave Kevin McCarthy in as a speaker, but not my first pick for sure. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene's got more fire and balls than Kevin McCarthy ever had. Now, let me go ahead and skip past a little bit of this stuff. Okay. I'll scroll down a little bit. Some of the stuff I can't talk about. Now, this is crazy here, folks. You believe this? It says LA Public Health offers free nose swabs testing for those pets. You know, if you got a dog, a cat, a monkey, a bird, they got swabs to check for the woo flu up the nose. And at this point, there are 0 pet cases, but they got to do something with all the millions of swabs that we're paying for as tax dollars. So I guess they're sticking them in places, in other places, other than humans. They're sticking them in the animals now. Now, if your dog got the monkeypox or your dog got the COVID, I want to know how. That is a $1 million question. Yeah, Paul Pelosi. This is not good news, but it's par for the course. Paul Pelosi is linked. Some of his linked businesses got millions in that PPP loan scam. That when everybody got their PPP loans back during the pandemic, the people that got the most money was the people that knew it was going to happen first. Kind of like insider trading. Paul Pelosi probably had a great lawyer go to the right bank and secure millions and millions of dollars in loans through this PPP program, like they really needed the money, like they were really hurting. Yeah, right. But at any rate, this is what's happened during this whole PPP thing. Some businesses got 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, but then the businesses that got into the banks first got the millions. Started with the politicians, the people that were smart enough to have lawyers to get straight into the money train on through the banking system. That was the middleman for all this PPP money. Now, I'd have to give that stuff back if you were showing a profit, as far as I'm concerned. I think that was just a waste of money, which is not helping our inflation any. I think that is a big part of the whole inflationary problem is all this money that we are spending, continue to spend, and have spent and wasted on double unemployment during the pandemic. And PPP money passed out like candy to the richest of the rich. It's a mess, folks. Hopefully, they'll slow down on the spending as soon as we take back the House and the Senate here directly in November. Now, Pennsylvania's got a Democrat over there. Dude's, I don't know what to say about the guy. He's not good, but he's running against Dr. Oz. He's in the Senate over there. It's John Fetterman. He wants to legalize heroin and fund safe injection sites. Now, I can't imagine wanting to legalize heroin. That is probably about the craziest thing I've heard. I've done some drugs in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Never done any heroin. It's just a gross thing as far as I'm concerned. But for people that are on drugs, for people that you don't want to get on drugs, like your teenage children, legalizing heroin is the absolute last answer. Last sane answer there is. I just can't imagine people wanting to legalize these hard drugs. What would be the purpose? Maybe tax dollars, uh, like all the money Nancy Pelosi's making in California behind the dispensaries. Maybe he's trying to do the same thing in Pennsylvania, and I don't believe it's going to work. You're going to have him versus Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is trying to, whether you like him or not, he is trying to help America and help the Republican Party get back to an America First plan. He at least speaks that way. This guy here, he's trying to turn Pennsylvania into, I guess, another heroin dispensary like San Francisco. Sick stuff. I hope that guy does not get the job. That's why people got to get out and vote. Get these folks like this off the ticket. Get these folks out of there. Let me see here. I think I had one more article I wanted to read to y'all. Now, uh, Liz Cheney, even though she's out of there, she's going to try to run for president in 2024 for one reason, not because she can win. She knows she can't win. But she wants to try to take the orange man bad, Trump derangement syndrome haters that are still consider themselves Republicans, and she wants them to unify behind her. You know, I guess the Mitch McConnells and the people that supported her and the Rhino Party that just can't get over how much they hate Trump. Well, she's going to try to run in order to try to split the Republican vote. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think there's going to be a lot to it. But who knows? Maybe Democrats will vote for her just to keep the orange man out. Who really knows? But I don't think it's going to do much good. I don't think at this point uh, she could win at much of anything. And I just think she's just a political hack. The truth of the matter is, she just hates Trump so bad. She wants to vow to keep Trump out of office and keep election deniers out of office. And we all know what she's talking about there. Now, this is the last article I'm going to bring you, but I thought this was great. Let's see here. This is Brian Stelter, Mr. Potato Head. Let's go ahead and get into it. Later, Tater Brian Stelter fights back tears as he ends his last broadcast at CNN. Now, let's get into it, folks. Let me throw the video up for you. I thought this was great.
And we need strength. Some of you know I've been a media junkie for a long time. I was the kid who spent his days building the school website and producing the school TV show. And deep down inside, I think I'm still that kid. I never thought I'd actually be on TV. I might have dreamed about it. I never thought it would happen. I just liked writing about TV. I know this is going to sound like BS, but I actually thought I didn't have enough hair to be on TV. I am just that kid who loves television and loves the internet, and thinks that these are incredibly powerful forces in our society, and believes that we need to interrogate that power and face it head on and figure out how to make these tools work for us and not against us. That's what it's all about, right? That's what Reliable Sources have been about. It's documented and dissected the changing media world for 30 years. I mean, we're living through an era of dizzying change. We have supercomputers in our pocket. We are all members of the media now. That's probably the biggest change that's happened while this show was on the air. And by the way, that's why it's loony to say the media is the enemy of the people. The media is the people. People are flawed and opinionated and curious and hopeful and believing in accountability. And that's the watchword here. Accountability. So this show's going away, but there's going to be so many more. We need to have room for media criticism and debate and discussion, and we will. So much of the media ecosystem in 2022 is garbage, but so much of it is spectacular. The hard part is
Damn
sorting out the
Skippy,
treasure from the
garbage.
trash. These are thorny, complicated things. I know I never had all the answers. I didn't even always have all the questions. But it was the gift of a lifetime to get to confront these issues on international television with the backing of CNN. Here's what I do know. I know it's not partisan to stand up for decency and democracy and dialogue. It's not partisan to stand up to demagogues. It's required. It's patriotic. We must make sure we don't give platforms to those who are lying to our faces. But we also must make sure we are representing the full spectrum of debate and representing what's going on in this country and in this world. That's why CNN needs to be strong. That's why I believe CNN will always be strong. You viewers at home, it's on you. CNN must remain strong. I know the 4,500 staffers are going to do their part to make it stronger than ever. But it's going to be on you to hold CNN accountable. And not just CNN. You got to hold your local paper accountable. You got to hold your local digital outlet accountable. It's on all of us. We are all members of the media, all helping to make it better. That's what I believe.
Well, it sounds like to me that Brian Stelter got held accountable. That's what I believe. What do y'all think, folks? Now, most of that speech was just a whole lot of blah, blah, blah. Thanking everybody that helped me lie and carry the lie in the water for the left. Well, I got one more little article. If you're still sticking around, I wanted to get into. Let me back up a little bit here. Oh, let me go back to Gateway Pundit and then back up. Later, Tater, Brian Stelter. I'm glad he's gone. He'll be over on CNN or MSNBC probably next. Now, NBC poll finds that 74% of Americans say country is on the wrong track. Americans are angry, disappointed, and worried, and that there is no doubt about it. And this is NBC of all stations. Now let's go ahead and get into that. Let's see if I can throw this up real quick for you folks. When NBC is telling it, it's a shocker. You know, NBC is like ABC and CBS. They just do not like to tell the truth. And Meet the Press is probably one of the worst. Let me go ahead and get it.
And a good Sunday morning to all of you. We are less than 3 months before the midterms, and our brand new NBC News poll paints a pretty bleak picture. Americans are angry, they're disappointed, and they are worried about the future of this country. Just 21% of adults say we are heading in the right direction, and once again, 3 out of 4 Americans say we are on the wrong track. In fact, this number, never before in our poll, has this wrong track number been over 70% for this long. It's been nearly a year now. 58%, by the way, say America's best years are behind us. That's an all-time high in our poll. So what is behind this rise in pessimism about our country's future? Well, it starts with this. Americans don't like either party, and they don't like anyone in power. Take a look at this. Both political parties are very unpopular, one slightly more than the other. It's a similar story with both the current and former presidents, with the former president's negatives actually rising a bit faster than we'd seen since our last poll. The current and former vice presidents, also both deeply unpopular, almost identical. And even the 2 politicians who have most publicly stood up to the leaders of their own parties, Joe Manchin and Liz Cheney, well, no one likes them either. And with their own parties, they are the most unpopular. So add it all up, and this country now has low confidence in a bunch of institutions, Justice Department, the Supreme Court, even our public schools. And for the first time ever, when asked what is the most important issue facing this country, the top answer was not an economic issue. It was threats to the democracy, higher than cost of living, or jobs, or guns, or even abortion. So this is the environment in which voters are going to the polls this November. They're pretty angry. In a normal year, these numbers would forecast electoral doom for the party in power. But boy, these midterms, they're going to be unlike any we've seen in history. And I'll warn you, the old rules of politics probably don't apply.
All right, folks, that's all I got for you. Likes to travel